We're live. We are here to talk about the challenge tonight. So thank you for coming, everybody. Just give us a quick double thumb if you can see us and hear us properly. That'd be fantastic. It's always a bit of a tricky situation.
We don't know.
Because we're not sure. So let us know in the comments if we are good to go.
Look at all these people chatting.
We have the top three coming on to talk about their journey. There's actually been a change in the leaderboard today, but we're going to go off of yesterday's results. Let's say good day to everyone in the chat before we get cracking.
And then we will learn their secrets.
Matt is in. Matt's what I am. Let's get it on. Denny's here. Thanks for popping in, Denny. Adam is here. Ken's here as well. G'day, Ken. Rebecca Turner, thanks for popping in. Opta Thrift is here. Dyer of Flipper. Little one to bed. We'll be back shortly.
Aww.
Mum's in the house. What's up? We've got Michael. Thanks for dropping in. Kara's here as well. Let's see who else we've got here. We've got Toby.
Avasti landlubbers.
We've got Rob, who's hit the leaderboard with a sale, which is awesome.
Oh.
We've got both mums in the house. Thanks, mums. We've got Donna. And who else do we have here? We have Donna again. We have Zach. What's up, Zach? We have Rory. And we have, look, Mom hustling.
All right.
Thanks,
I feel
guys,
like we can start then.
for coming. Tomorrow's here as well. And Rob. So we've got all the family in the house as well. So thanks for joining us.
We love it.
Before we get the top three on, we're going to run through some of the leaderboard. We're going to talk about some of the sales that people have been having, some of the hashtags that have been used over on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I've not checked that.
Shirley is in the house as well. So thanks to everyone that has been tagging the hashtag $5 It works really well when you're doing like a post. It doesn't work as well in stories because it doesn't show up. So what I'll show you guys is what we've been working on for the leaderboard.
Heck
so
yeah.
let's jump straight into that. I'm hoping that's the actual one and not the other one. All right, so this is the current leaderboard, guys. As you can see, we have Drew right up the top there.
Holy
absolutely
heck.
killing it, $624.82. We have Gary close behind him at $464. Kara's actually just bunny hop Steph for now, but we'll be getting Steph on tonight. Us admin have some work here we need to do. And you can see some of the work that Frank's been putting in. So he's just added total purchases, total sales, and an ROI, which is awesome.
And please visit his tip jar if you feel so inclined.
So thanks to Frank for putting all that work in. He's been absolutely smashing it with stuff. So thanks to Frank for putting this all together. If you guys do want to support Frank and what he's doing, there is that tip jar for him just to show your support because, he's been putting a lot of time into this. So thanks, Frank, and thanks to Kara as well for adminning for us as well. There's been a lot of entries in lately, so it's been a pretty full-on job.
I can't believe those numbers that are sitting up the top. What the heck?
That's pretty crazy. Hey, we're
imagine by the end of 6 months.
Yeah, we're like 3.5 weeks in, and we're already up to that. So
that's wild.
Should we do what we've got first, or should we do some of the $5 ones first? All right, we've got a couple of things that we want to show before we get straight into it.
Are we going to do mail time?
Yeah, we're going to do a quick mail time.
Okay, quick mail time because it's a really good one.
So we put out a post yesterday about giving away these awesome earrings.
Awesome earrings.
So we got this really nice letter in the post about a week ago, just saying, that they'd watched our channel and it was nice to meet us.
Get ready
and all that sort of
to
stuff.
Screenshot. So this is Melvillous over on Instagram. Melvillous earrings. She is from York Peninsula in SA. She makes amazing earrings. I have little ladybugs. So she actually did send us some little gifts, which if you've been on our Instagram, you will have seen the little Cookie Monster and sunflowers.
Yeah.
So she gifted those to us with my order, and we're going to gift them forward.
Yeah. So head over to our Instagram. Jump on and leave a comment, support local, and head over to her page and show her some love as well.
And jump on her store, which you can get to from Instagram because her prices are amazing.
Very, very good.
And they make really cute gifts.
Next, we will just show you, we also got an awesome box from Jazzy's Auntie Terry over in the States. So she sent this massive box of stuff. We've got some shirts.
Fortunately, they paid the COVID premium to send this.
We've got some peanut M&Ms. We've got some thrifting T-shirts.
She's been making shirts. My favorite sport is thrifting.
So that's super cool.
Thrifting is chicken soup for the soul. These absolutely cracked me up. That's so awesome.
So I'm sure they'll get
thank
worn
you
at
very,
some
very,
point,
very much.
shortly. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there, some nice food, some nice coffee beans.
Munchies from other countries.
I know, right? So
Thank
thanks
you guys
to Kerry and Mel for sending us some mail. Really appreciate that. Head over to Instagram and enter that giveaway. Kat's trying to press the button again. She doesn't like it. So before we get any of the top 3 on, we're just going to run through the hashtags that we've got over on Instagram so people can see what has been going on.
Yeah, what are
so
people
let's
picking up?
Get that one up.
And then I need to learn all the secrets of how to win.
Okay, so we'll start here because I think that's where we got up to last time. So this one here is Iron Williams beige brushed cotton moleskin, sold $54.95. First sale of the challenge, which was nice, a nice flip there.
I do remember that one.
I think we actually got up to here last
time.
So Toby picked up a whole bunch of VHS. He's got his nice little setup there. It's a pretty cool little TV. So this is part of his $5 challenge at the moment. He's killing it as well. Another SA boy.
I love those pictures because people can see it working.
We have Rostock Recycle. Are you being served? Board game for the $5 challenge. So that was a nice little pickup as well.
That's wicked.
That's Frank's message about the tip jar. Some more stuff from Toby. Look at Toby smashing out the listings. All
Holy
the different
$5
challenge there. So thanks,
some days
Toby.
you just have to hustle.
We have Megan bought a whole bunch of books, some Zelda ones that she entered in, which were really cool. So
I've definitely read those books.
This is one of the top 3 that's coming on tonight. Steph sold this as her first item. So we won't talk too much about that because we'll leave Steph to talk about that one.
That's exciting.
And this was also from her massive haul that she picked up as part of the challenge. So we'll get into that later on as well. And Steph, again, 118 items she has. So
whoa,
yeah, that's crazy. These were a little bit too expensive for the $5 challenge, unfortunately, $250. So Recommerce Dave did not pick those ones up.
I have also wished that I could move decimal points.
Cash flow for kids. I know that one sold really fast for Reseller Kaz.
I've never seen cash flow for kids.
$80 I think she got for that one, which is super awesome. Great sale. This one's one of Kara's nice pickups. These little, what are they, ducks?
Yeah,
it's pretty
ducks.
Cute. I'm not sure if that one's on the board yet, is it?
Ooh, I know she sold some really quick. I can't remember if this was one of them.
Let's try and get through these. So we have another one here from Captain Opshop Nerd with a signed cap. And the Tin King found this two-way video cassette rewind to fast forwarder. That's interesting. I've never seen that, anything like that before.
That's so cool.
I don't know what that one is. Have a look.
Mummy is still learning. Just listed my 1,635th item.
So she's saying that the $5 thrift challenge has really motivated me to do better on my eBay sales.
We can't talk. That's wicked.
That's our post. Aussie Fire Thrifts. When all your sourcing shopping is done and now you have to go back to the boring part of reselling. That's the truth.
Can relate.
We've got a nice sale here from Rack Raiders, $29.95 for Spics and Specs. This is interesting. I saw this when it was logged. This is called Nookie. It's a grown-up game for playful couples.
Woo-woo.
So that's a bit risque from Reseller Kaz. Nice pickup. Here's that sale for $80.
Cash flow for kids.
There you go, $80. Nice little sale there.
Dang.
We've got another sale here. Stussy One Love Rare Black Denim Women's Vest. That's
animal
pretty
print.
sick.
The animal
Again,
print
Reseller Kaz smashing it. I saw this one today. Nice backgammon set, sold for $55 for the challenge. So that was pretty nice. That one was from Inside Outlet. Erin.
Look at that photo.
And last one, we have a Puma Sports Lifestyle Golf white and green button-up polo from Car Boot Chris over in the UK. So that's all the hashtags at the moment. So we'll stop sharing that one. We will get the guys on pretty shortly to talk about their journey so far in the challenge. So I can see one waiting in the wings, which is awesome. We've got 60 people watching. So thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Make sure you smash that thumbs up for us and the guys that are leading the challenge. Really appreciate it. Let's catch up with the chat because I missed a bit of that. I want the Nookie. Good, busy. Everyone's busy. Everyone's doing stuff. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Mel's in the house. Okay, Mel, good to see you.
DBG as well.
Mr. DBG. There's DBG. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. Drew's hanging out in the background, so thanks for that, Drew. So before we bring these guys up, I did want to talk a little bit about some housekeeping for the challenge. We've been going through a lot of entries, and there's been some that are just submitting a receipt. There's been some that are submitting receipts that are like really long, and if you're going to submit receipts that are really long, like even if you just highlight it or mark up on your phone which item it is, and if you can have the item at least with the receipt, that's going to help us like identify it a lot quicker. And then we don't have to like email you or pester you or try and get more information to make it all work. We can just tick it off and move on to the next. With so many entries in, it is important that you guys try and provide as much information as you can. So yeah, Frank, Cara, and myself can tick them off pretty quick and not bother you. So that's a little bit of ground housekeeping, I suppose. So what we'll do, I don't know if we've got Drew and Steph in the background. We'll wait on Gary to jump in as well. So we'll get Gary on shortly. So what we might do is might bring our, I think Steph was in second or third when we just brought up. So we might bring Steph up first. We'll leave the number one gun for the last spot.
He'll be raring to go.
So let's get Steph up and have a chat. Gary's just jumped in. Let's get Steph up and say good day. Hey, Steph.
Hi, everyone.
So for those that don't know you, do you want to quickly introduce yourself to everyone and sort of tell everyone how long you've been reselling and how things have been going so far?
So I'm Steph. I'm from New South Wales. I've been reselling now properly for about 10 months, doing it on and off for 2 or 3 years, just random bits of money, but yeah, really seriously about 10 months. I've been really keen about this challenge, so it's been fun to do.
Yeah, and you've picked up quite a lot of stuff already. You did a big purchase last week that sort of is going to tick along for you for quite some time. I'd suggest about 118 items, I think it was.
Yeah, complete fluke though, like complete luck. I'm like, I saw it there on the shelf, and I'm like, they're all mine. I'm taking them all.
Is that the stack of the books?
Books and some other stuff.
Huge stack of books.
Yeah. So I did want to talk a little bit about some of the sales that you've already flipped. So what I'll do is I'll bring up the first item that you picked up, and then we'll have a little chat about that. Let's see if I can do this without opening the wrong one.
We say this every time. Sometimes it works.
All the buttons you got to press.
I know, right? It's here somewhere.
So eyesight's not the best.
I can't even see it now. Oh, there it is. All right, so the first item that you picked up was this NRL St. George Illawarra Dragons mug. And how much did you pick that one up for again?
$4. So I still had $1 left over after that one. So it was a good pickup.
Pretty quickly for $22.50, which was a nice start to get you on the board. Yeah,
I probably could have sold it for more, but I wanted that quick flip to get that initial extra bit of money so I could go out and buy something more.
Strategy.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people have been doing with that first item, just taking a little bit of a lower price and getting it out the door nice and quick to get the money back. And then you went straight into another item as well. Well, you sold a whole bunch of them actually, so I'll see if I can bring that one up for us. Let's see how we go with this one.
If you stick your tongue out, it helps you concentrate.
I can't even see it, so that's not helpful.
I don't even have my glasses on, so I'm pale.
We'll have to. It was some of the books, wasn't it? It was a whole bunch of the books.
Babysitter Club books.
There you go, Brad.
So you don't even need
I brought them with me.
We've got some books there, so that's a nice whole bunch of those.
Nostalgia sells.
And you sold like a whole bunch of them for like $80 or something, right?
Yeah. I think it was a lot of 7 for $80. I picked up 118, and in a week I've sold over 60, I think.
Wow!
So I'm over halfway there.
That's awesome.
Matt's
saying Steph is a beast at listing. Steph burns out 70 to 80 a day.
Dang!
And you're doing a lot of your sourcing on the weekend, right?
Purely on the weekend. I work full time Monday to Friday, so it's really hard to get the listing done during the week. So I try and smash it out on the weekend.
That's awesome. And what sort of pushed you into reselling? Like, I won't go too deep into the whole backstory, but what sort of started your whole journey in the reselling game?
Probably my parents. They had a secondhand shop when we were growing up, so I'm really well rooted into that kind of community. So I learned the best from mum and dad, essentially.
Wow, that's a different upbringing to sort of like have all that knowledge before you even get started. I guess that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I've been op shopping literally forever.
I love it.
That's amazing. All right, well, what we'll do is we'll get Gary up as well. I'm sure we'll have a lot of cross banter, so we'll get Gary on and talk a little bit about what he's been up to. He's definitely been smashing it out, so let's get Gary up as well. G'day, Gary. Good to see you.
Sydney.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good. First time on the channel, I believe, so welcome. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself to everyone that doesn't know you and what you sort of do?
Sure. So I'm Gary Compton, but I go by Flip in Sydney, and I've been reselling for just over a year now. So first 12 months, doing pretty well, I think. Yeah. So enjoying it. It's heaps of fun. It's heaps of fun. So yeah.
And you generally do a lot of like video games and like Guitar Hero stuff and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I think the first flip I did when I started going out looking for stuff, I picked up a Guitar Hero, a boxed PS2, I think, Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
I didn't have any consoles or anything, and flipped it in like a day, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. So that was the start, and I enjoy the Guitar Hero stuff. It's just fun. So I've been taking them apart and putting them back together. And so,
yeah, because you repaired one the other day, which is pretty cool. And this Just Dance was one of your items that you have now sold, right?
Yeah. So I've sold a bunch of games. I actually picked up a bunch of games like yesterday. So I'm just working my way through, starting to list some of those, and like a couple of them sold like overnight. So yeah.
That's always helpful when that sort of thing happens. I'll try and bring up some of the other items you've sold because there's been some interesting stuff coming.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings game, that was like, because that sold for like over $100, and I picked it up for like, it was $2 a disc. There was 4 discs, so it was $8. Okay, so that Kylie one, that was the DVD. That put me in exactly the same price as Steph. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Just right there.
Yeah, it was crazy that we both had the same. We had the same, amount. So it was just like pretty cool.
It's pretty cool to see how quickly people have started moving stuff as well. And I think here's another thing that you've done as well. This cash flow game.
I picked up two. What was it? 2 cash flow games and a cash flow kids game, and I picked them up for $10 each.
Wow.
And they flipped pretty quickly for like $80. So that was cool. And then I got a guy was just selling like all these books and a cash flow game, and then cash flow 202 which was the tape set.
Oh wow.
Game as well. And so I've flipped all the books, and I've flipped those, and I've still got a few VHSs and stuff that hanging around. So we'll see if we can flip those as well. So
Judd is saying good to see both Gary and Steph on the tube.
Isn't it?
So thanks for joining us tonight, guys. It's really cool to see you.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so we will get Drew on shortly, but I do want to ask you a couple more questions before we get Drew on, Gary. Yep. So in terms of your journey, like you said, you've been doing it for a year now. What sort of started the whole reselling for you? What was the spark that made you thought, I'm going to try and make some money here? Yeah,
so I guess my day job loosely is a photographer, commercial photographer. And it's just, it's kind of hard to get paid sometimes. It takes like 90 days minimum to get paid. And so I was just looking around at different kind of strategies and different things I could do to make some more money. And, just doing heaps of research and came across some videos. I think you guys and, Rally Roots and a few other things, just because I was just like researching and looking at different options and different things I could do. So I guess that's how it started. But yeah.
We got a fellow photographer in the chat in Mel saying hard yards as a photographer.
It's very competitive. I mean, like anything, it's very competitive, but it's just kind of like I enjoy the reselling, and I'm kind of lucky that I can do them both because
Yeah.
my schedule is just so flexible. It gives me time, and it's kind of like I'll have a shoot and I have to go out somewhere, so I just add some thrifting in as well and just go check out some shops like before or after the shoot and things like that. So
that's the dream, to have that sort of flexibility to
I'm very lucky.
And you can probably hit quite a lot of different places as well with that sort of job, like, because you're probably going to have shoots all over the place where you can
you do. You move around a lot, so yeah, you get to go check out new shops that I haven't been to, and so
that's awesome. That's that I'd froth over that. I'd be so happy if I could do that. So that's an awesome setup. We will get the number one man on the ladder at the moment.
He's itching.
He's doing some flexing in
Our
the back.
competition.
Yeah, I know, right? So we'll bring up Drew.
He's the veteran, he's been doing it for ages, so he's got the experience, and
that's it. We'll have to bring him up and probe his brain for some answers, I think. Let's bring up Drew and have a chat.
Hey,
Drew.
Hey.
Hello.
You've got the young guns. You got the young guns, and then you've got the
we just broke up that South Australian syndicate. That was the main thing. Pass them up.
Well, based on your lead, we were thinking about just cutting out all the full timers because it was just getting control. So
I think I'm the only full-time person that does this for a living.
I'm sure there's a few more in there. We're talking about it in the admin group about when we run one next year. What we'll do is we'll put like a little FT and PT so people can kind of see how it ranks. Because obviously, you will start it at the same point, but when you can go out regularly, and now you're in that point where pretty much whatever you buy, you can put on the board, right? That's pretty much where you're at the moment.
Exactly. And see, once I get to that stage, it's going to be like a tree root. It's just going to spread to thousands of items, and you guys are just going to kick me off. I'll guarantee it.
I think the spreadsheet may break at some point. It may hit its limit.
Yeah, I did flip Frank $10 anyway, so.
I appreciate it.
I gave him some money as well, so.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. It wasn't something that we thought of to start with, but I just thought with the amount of work that he's putting into it, I think it's worth him, getting a little bit of kickback. And he's got a family and stuff, so he's taking time away from his family to do it. So, it's great what Frank's done, and definitely wouldn't be the same without Frank. So yeah, definitely think his time's worth the money for sure.
Yeah,
and thanks for subbing the other day too, Steph. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
She's just scoping you out.
Yeah, she's checking out the competition.
Well, of course. Back out research. Got to do research.
So I sent it today, so I think he's looking over my shoulder now.
In terms of yourself, Drew, I'm sure most people in the chat sort of know who you are, but do you want to do a quick little intro while we've got you here and point people in the right direction to find out where you are?
Yeah, sure. Basically, I'm in Queensland on the Sunshine Coast. Basically, there's a lot of op shops in my local area. I basically I'd worked for this guy for like 20-something years, and he took a different direction. I didn't want where the company was going to go, and basically I was running the whole thing anyway. So I basically packed up. The kids are kind of old enough where they could dress themselves and everything else. So the wife wanted to go back to work, and so I thought, I've already been doing it. I was doing like about 15 grand a year, just part time. And I thought, okay, let's pull the levers. So anyway, I went full time, and it was going terrifically up till September last year when they up that. And if it didn't change, I think I'd have to go back to work by Christmas, I think. So, but I just enjoy it. I enjoy being my own boss, the flexibility, the fun of finding stuff and stuff like that. So,
for sure. It's definitely, it's definitely a different life. And obviously as a full-timer, like you have different ways of thinking about stuff because you're paying your bills out of it. You're not just reinvesting everything. You've got to pull a wage.
Mortgage, bills, food, you gotta be on it all the time, and that's I've kind of said it, on Rod's channel too with the waffle, was that if you're part time, be real selective and get like the heavy hitters, and if you're full time, you'll only find 5 of them. What are you going to do for the next 36 hours? That's where you need other stuff to fill the holes. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's all dependent on what you can source as well. Obviously, if you've got a vast range, you can, cherry pick a lot better. If you've got only a few, then you have to sort of go a wider range and try and get more in the door. So I've got a few of your items ready up here as well. So I'll get you to talk a little bit about what you found and what you flipped so far. There is one thing that I do want to talk about that isn't here, that you submitted the other day and almost gave me a heart attack. But we'll get to that a little bit later on. So I've got a pair of jeans up here that you picked up and sold already.
Yep. So basically went to one of the tip shops. They had some clothing there. Went through it all and found these. And these are Jack and Jones. These are like a surf brand. They sell them like, was it City Beach and so on and so forth. So yeah, $2.50. I think I flipped them for 25 plus ships. So.
Wow, that's handy. Nice quick flip.
Yeah. My $5. So I went out for like a week or 2 weeks, and I couldn't find anything. Like I was getting G-Star jeans for $7 and stuff like this. I can't find anything for $5, and I finally got a guitar, like an Xbox 360 guitar for $5. I was like, sweet.
Got you off the mark.
But the spring had rusted out. I'm like, no. So I gotta get a part for it. So I'm gonna order one from China.
That first
which part is it, Drew? What spring is it?
It's one of the springs that push the battery up. The coil springs.
Okay, yeah.
And basically,
J-Car or something.
Yeah, I went to J-Car, but they only got the riveted springs. This is a whole plate with the springs on it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
How annoying.
We've got two Guitar Hero knowledge in the chat.
Yeah. More. Oh, hey Grimes, there you go, mate.
Grimes has dropped in. Good to see you.
It's in parts at the moment, so it's a project, not a profit.
There's always a few of those that get around, isn't there? The old project.
Eventually found was a AFX slot car set for $5 in one of the op shops, and it said incomplete. So I thought, for $5 I can flip the track or whatever. And anyway, so I ended up. I think I sold the cars for 30 plus ship. I sold the power track and the controls and the power supply for like another 30. And I sold the rest of the track for another. I think I dropped my pants on that one and took 25 just to get it out the door, Yeah. And then from there, it's just a snowball effect.
And
so
another camera.
This was out of a camera lot. Yeah, just don't disregard these little 35mm film cameras. I got $100 for that, and that was a bit cheap. I could have maybe got 120. Any of these little Instamatic Canon things, Olympus, just really do the comps on them. Yeah. Even if you get the overseas comps, because you might be the only one in Australia with it. And I think that was the case with I sold another one for like $60 too.
The item that scared me the other day when I went in there, you had a Canon 1100D, which I was like, you picked up for $5, and I almost had a heart attack because I was like, those cameras could go for a couple hundred, $300 in working order. And then you told me that it was for parts, and I was like, okay, this makes more sense now. Because I was like, how do you get a Canon 1100D for $5? Like that's.
Do you have to double verify that one?
I had to get another screenshot of the receipt actually, because it had like a little crinkle over the number, and I was like, is Drew trying to pull a Swifty on me? And it was a nasty crinkle, but it all played out well, and you sold that one pretty quick as well.
Yeah, so these South Australians, they're bitter people.
Well, we can't beat any Victorians in the footy at the moment, so we've got to take some sort of.
Sure.
I actually saw a Nikon 3300 today that I looked at. Soul Comps is really good, but it didn't have a charger, so I couldn't. I wouldn't buy it without testing it just to make sure that it worked properly.
Yeah, there's so much can go wrong.
It was $100, but I could have flipped it for like probably a couple of hundred easy.
Wow.
But
you definitely know that sort of stuff. That's
you got to test it. You got to make sure it works.
Yeah, the advantages of having like a skill in our industry that you're familiar with is you can like gain from that when you're out in the thrift. So by like looking for stuff to flip that So I guess I wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit about strategy. So we'll start off with Steph, and then sort of go down to Gary and across to Drew. So, Steph, in terms of your strategy early on, was it you were looking for a specific item to sell, or did you just sort of have a look around and go, this thing's going to sell, I can sell it for cheap? Like, how stressful was that? Yeah, how stressful was that first $5 item? Because I know for us, I was freaking out about it, to be honest. I was like, I can't sit on $5 for this whole challenge. Can't lose at my own challenge. So what was your strategy early on?
It's really hard to find something for $5. Like, it took forever. I was thinking books, games, something, but around here everything's over $5. So I'm like, as soon as I found that $4 item, I'm like, mine, I'm buying it, it's going up. Like, that's it. And whatever I can flip it for, I'm going with it.
No hesitation, less thinking, more selling.
yeah, definitely. Otherwise you just think about it for too long.
Yeah,
we were almost falling into that trap. Like, hold out for something better.
Lucky that Jazz went out and found a nice Aaron Williams belt, but even I wasn't sure of that, because I was like, you got to have the right person with the right size to buy it. Like, how long it's going to take? We took it. I think we took $40 for it, which was probably $20 below comps. But I was like, that's $40 back in our pocket that we can now spend, and it just opens so many more doors for us. But we have struggled because we have so much stock, we don't actually need to go out thrifting at the moment. So it's been an internal battle, like, we need to get on the leaderboard, but we need to list stuff as well. So it's definitely a struggle. Gary, what was were you similar? You were sort of struggling at the start, or did you just go on buying that?
Yeah, no, like the first item that I got was a Terminator Quadrilogy DVD. So I got it for $5 and that flipped like really quick, like next day, and I was away. So, but I mean, as far as strategy goes for like finding things, I guess I wasn't too attached to anything in particular. I was just kind of like, well, whatever I kind of find, if I feel like I can flip it quickly, that's going to, be something. And then I've just found stacks of games, like cheap. And that's the other thing. I think the most I've spent on any item so far is $20. And that's for a Led Zeppelin 10 studio albums box set kind of thing. So when that sells, that'll sell for like, I mean, brand new sealed, it'd be 600 or something stupid, but I'm hoping to get 100 for it. So we'll see. But that was $20. That's the most I've spent. Apart from that, it's just, a few dollars for games and stuff, maybe $5 tops for a game that will flip for maybe 40 or 50 or something.
Yeah. So it's all about keeping that money moving, and keeping it churning and churning. Yeah. So I know that a lot of people have sort of been taking lower amounts on items, and maybe it's like switching up that mentality of like, you want some stuff that's long tail, but you want some fast moving stuff as well to keep the store.
Yeah, I think you want to have both. Like, I mean, I'm just like logging stuff now, and then it's just going to continue to sell depending on how long it takes. So it's just going to keep adding up. So
that's what we need to get, because we've only got about 3 on there at the moment. So we need to get some more stuff. Just before we get on to Drew, I just want to say Mel's just dropped in that we're talking about before for earrings. So go over and check her out on Instagram. There's great stuff. Luke's dropped in as well, who's right up there on the leaderboard. Got a lot of people dropping in. So thanks everyone. 69 people watching. Thank you very much. Drew, so you sort of said the first few weeks was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I was finding some good stuff, but just nothing for under 5. I struggled, but I wasn't gonna rush it. I didn't want to get into clothing. For me, I know like clothing for some people just flies out the door, but for me, it's just a grind. It takes a while to get moving. So I know any type of guitars for the consoles. Obviously, PS3 you need the dongle, but apart from that, I knew the guitars sell well. Like even a Wii remote now, you can almost get like $40 plus ship for one Wii remote. So, and that's what I picked up. But the week before the challenge started, I got 4 Xbox 360 controllers for $1 each.
Wow!
Right? And I think I flipped them. They were $40 plus ship each.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but that's lost. But that's the thing. I mean, I do this for a living, so I feel like I'm cheating. Like in a way, because it's just what I do anyway. It's not. I mean, the challenge was to finding the $5 item, but now it's just going to be a momentous thing. Where if I don't have 20 or 30 grand on the board by 6 months, I've quit reselling basically.
It's now a tracking project to see how much you can do in that time frame.
I think I'm giving you guys so much work to do. Like I got 47 items up now or something, or log 47 items for sale. And I've got another thing here, like a PVR I just bought for 15. It sells for about 80 or 90 bucks. And I love this thing today. Like I paid $4 for this.
Yeah.
And the story, actually, there was a story. I used to work at a surf club in Mooloolaba as a bouncer, and the manager there was Cameron Meninga, right? And his brothers, obviously, he coached the Queensland State of Origin side. So they had the function upstairs. So I actually had to buy one of those jumpers because my father-in-law was just mad State of Origin Broncos. He's just crazy in RL. So I went to Rebel Sports. I think I paid like $160 for a brand new one. This was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I took it upstairs and got all the team to sign up for him. And I just gave it to him, and he was over the top. So I know these things are good money, and it was only $4, and someone's got one listed for 144. So
wow, yeah. I've sold a couple of them. Not quite that high, but they do sell for decent money when State of Origin comes up. Which I'm wondering if they're going to do it properly this year, but we'll see how we go when we get there. And talking of big lodgements, I saw a pretty high value item go through the spreadsheet the other day. Do you want to give us a little bit of insight into what that was?
Yeah, so basically I bought a reel-to-reel player. It's a Norwegian brand, extremely rare. I think 2 have sold in the world in the last 90 days.
Wow.
One for 1,700, another one for 1,000. But they were working. Mine's has issues. I mean, there's problems with it, but the caps that hold the reels in, someone wants $183 just for them.
Wow.
Then all the parts on it, the knobs and everything is worth a lot of money. So I paid $150 for it. I also got a big box of tapes as well, like the actual audio tapes, but I didn't count them in the challenge. And so I put it up for $850 or best offer. Someone offered me $350.
How are we going to catch him? How are we going to catch him, Steph?
That's what
No idea.
But it might not sell for 8 months. And see, I'm the type of guy that set and forget. I'm not one of these people go, oh my God, I've had it for 4 days. I'll reduce the price, or put best offer on or whatever. I'll wait 4 years. I don't care. That's my model, because I just got to wait for the right person. That's it.
Yeah. And on that sort of stuff, for sure, like that's a pretty unique item. You're going to wait for the right buyer, definitely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I know we're early on, but is there an item that you guys are like dead set on finding in this challenge? And we'll start with Steph again. So I'm really keen to finally find a bloody Mambo Loud shirt for this challenge, because if I haven't found one, and I'm spewing that half the other community.
I've already found one. That I ticked that off the list already.
I quit. So is there an item that you really want to find for this challenge, and you can just sort of flaunt it when you get it, Steph?
Not really. Like I love retro gaming, so I've never found anything out in the wild. So if I could find Nintendo, Sega, I'd really like that. But basically whatever I can find that sells.
And Gary, what about yourself? Is there something that you really got your eyes peeled for?
Not really, but kind of going back to the bingo that Rob started, or that list of things, like if I'd been on that, one of the things I would have said would just any video game, but like sells for plus $100.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That was a goal that I had, and I've sold a couple of those for over $100 now. So I guess the next one is like 150 or 200 or something for a game, which is crazy.
Like box conquers bad.
That would be a goal. We'll see if we can get that.
Drew, I think you've already smashed it out of the water, but is there something that you still haven't found that you sort of really keen to get hands on?
There's one item that gets my heart going. I've sold about 6 of them, I guess, in 4 years. So they're not obviously that common, but they're a DVD recorder VHS combo. But they're an LG, and they do 1080p upscaling.
Oh wow!
And with the remote, you can get about $500 every day of the week, every time. And one I picked up from an op shop for $20. It said the VHS won't load, And what had happened is someone put some weight on it and they'd bent the frame. So when you put the tape and hit the frame, so just straightened the frame, tape went in perfect.
Wow.
The other side is, though, I do have experience in IT because I was in IT for 20 years, so I'd fixed a lot of things. But you can just go on YouTube. It shows you how to fix, clean video heads and basically there's a major thing that goes wrong in a VHS when it starts to chew tapes. There's like a switch, and it has best way of saying it. It kind of goes round and round, but it has like all these tracks that stop and start, and then when the pin goes across the plastic part, it then breaks the connection. So that way it knows wherever all the mechanical devices are to pull the tape in and out. And it's a matter of popping that off. Some pop off, some don't, and just get some clean and give it a good clean, put that back, put the mechanism back in, and she just runs like a train.
Wow. It's those little things that, like, if you can make that extra bit of money. So that's probably a good little segue. So I know that we touched on Gary before, and obviously, Drew, you like a bit of gaming as well. So Steph, what's your bread and butter? Like, what do you go out for on a normal week to try and find to flip regularly? Like, is it books? Is it the video games that you talked about before? Is it clothing? Do you have a favorite sort of category?
Before Rona, it was normally women's clothing, but that just went down the toilet after that. So I tried to switch up to books, been really popular, but my love is clothing, fashion. Yeah. So that's my bread and butter.
Yeah, it's definitely I noticed that when we've been thrifting, like the clothing area has been pretty thin. So
it hasn't been great.
Yeah. And Gary, I know that we sort of touched on you before, but mostly in the sort of video gaming area, is there other stuff that you really like to sell as well?
Video games and DVDs is, I guess, what I'm kind of focusing on at the moment. So just getting box sets of, or just even for DVDs, getting stuff that's, I don't know, a little bit niche and a little bit, not super common.
Like Live Aid.
What's that?
Like Live Aid or
I picked up a sealed Steve Irwin DVD, which is just there's things like that are semi rare but not like super rare, so just stuff like that. Yeah.
And Drew, we know that you're heavy in the games as well, but you've kind of spread your wings a little bit and gone to a clothing store as well now, as well as your gaming stuff.
Yeah. I basically sell everything now. Because I think as you grow, I did start in video games. That's where I started. I used to go to garage sales just looking for PS1 games, and then I kept spending all my money. I'm thinking, well, hang on, there's PS2 games. I just leave them, And so I started buying the PS2, selling them so I could have money to buy the PS1s, and then basically it's just like a snowball. It just gets bigger and bigger, and then I can sell this. I can sell that, and then all of a sudden, but you kind of know what sells pretty good. So yeah.
Ken's saying all you need is a My Guy, and then you.
Yeah, I don't have a My Guy yet, so
it's tough. I know Ken's got a good one, and a couple of the other guys have them. So
Gary's his own guy.
Yeah, Gary's his own guy. So we'll throw it to the chat as well. If you guys have any questions for the top three, you want to get an insight into their mindset, drop a bit of a question. Do you guys have any questions for each other? Do you guys have any questions for the current leader, and any taunts of sort of competition at all?
I was just really interested to know what Drew had sold and stuff, because I'm like, wow, man, look at that, how much he's sold already. Like, what have he sold? So it's just a little bit of,
Yeah, I'd say that there was a camera I sold for 200, and it was a Pentax K1000 film camera, 2 lenses for 220, I think it was.
Yeah.
2 wide PS2 guitars, 80 plus shit. Those Instamatic cameras, I think all up that was almost $200 too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like all things. To me, everything's long tail. It's
Well, that's actually because I sold 3 Lord of the Rings games. So one of them sold for 115, and then I think the other 2 sold for like 70 and 80. And so I think that was 3 separate trips to the same salvos. And I picked one up, and then that sold really quick, and I kind of went back and then found another one, and then went back again and I found another one, and like it's crazy how that kind of happens. So
it is crazy when you go somewhere and you pick up one thing and then you go back a week later and you can kind of tell that that same person has donated.
Put it all out,
or even like when you're in an op shop and you find one thing of a particular brand, then if you look in other areas, you can kind of tell that someone's donated a whole bunch of the same type of stuff, whether it be, a deceased estate or they're just clearing out.
For sure.
But it's crazy once you find one thing, how often you find something else. So that's probably a good tip for a lot of new people getting in, is if you find something, spend that little bit more time and have a look around.
I think one thing also for me, because I got a disc resurfacer, and that thing has been like amazing. Like it's paid for itself, hands down already. But like, there's so many like discs, like games and stuff I pick up, and they're a little bit scratched, and then you just resurface them and it's like a brand new. And I've done that with like some expensive games. That was like, there's no way I would have got as much money for them if I didn't have the disc resurfacer to be able to make them look like new. So
solid investment.
Here's a good question from Recommerce Dave, and we'll start with Steph. Do you think it would have been harder to get your sales if you had started a brand new eBay account for the competition?
Ooh. Well, my account's a few years old now. Like I've got 2,000 plus feedback, so I'm not really a new account.
Yeah.
But I think technically it would be harder because you want that feedback, that positive feedback, just to show that you're a good seller, or you're active on the account. So I would think it would be, but you can only start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well start today, because tomorrow is another day. So I think that's very true. And you would say the same, Gary, that starting a new account.
I don't think it would make too much difference, because it really depends on what the items are. Like if there's someone that really wants the item, then they're going to pay for it. So I guess it comes back to that. So maybe in a smaller way, it might, so, I don't know, but it's like, yeah, I think it just comes back to what items you have in the store. If somebody really wants to buy it, like they're going to buy it, regardless kind of thing. It doesn't matter, So, I mean, as long as you don't have all negative feedback, then I think you'll be okay.
That can't be good.
Yeah, negative is probably not going to help you at any stage. Drew, did you see a slower uptake when you started the clothing store? Did it take a while to gain some traction?
It's the typical eBay thing. List, it sells, and if you don't list, your store suffers in the algorithm, I think. I know a lot of people are having theories about eBay and the golden egg and the silver bullet and everything that makes eBay tick. I think no one really knows.
I don't think eBay knows.
Yeah, it just goes up and down, and I think, every time I list, I get a little boost, and then it kind of panders down again. So, yeah. But tomorrow's clothing day, unfortunately.
I just saw Ken say that he loves his Eco Pro. I definitely want to look into getting one, but I don't have a lot of disc games at the moment, so I don't really need it at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I was talking a lot with Ken before I ended up getting one, so he gave me some really good insight, and so he was really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's put out that video about it, and he's definitely a fan of the Eco Pro too. So he's definitely been up.
Sponsorship, please.
It's definitely worth the money. Like, I mean, if you are dealing in lots of discs and games, then it's definitely going to pay for itself.
Yeah, definitely. Drew's, apparently your reel-to-reel ended up specializing in video conferencing CP and were purchased by Cisco in around 2003.
Hey, interesting fact. Thanks, Oz.
There you go. You learn something new every day.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we're sort of got about 10 minutes to go. So I did want to thank you guys for joining us tonight, and congratulations on being top 3. It's nice and early on in the game, but I can see you guys definitely being up there in future. Before we head off, I just wanted to sort of get some words of advice from you all that you could provide to the chat. So if you had one tip, whether it be the challenge related or just reselling related, what would your one tip be for the chat? Go ahead, Steph.
research. Check your comps. Like, don't. I know some things will sell, but you never really do until you check those comps, because there's sometimes I've been burnt real bad before. So that's my words.
That's solid.
We've all been there before, made some bad decisions. So I think learning from it is another one. Gary, what's your words of wisdom?
My advice is probably going to be a bit unpopular potentially, but my advice would be, if you're a new reseller, don't start a YouTube channel. So I've been reselling for 12 months, and I feel like you just need a bit of skin in the game before. I mean, everyone's situation is different, but just for me, I only have a finite amount of time, and doing YouTube and stuff in the beginning is going to be taking away from time that you can be really focusing on your business and building your business. So everyone's different, but for me, it was kind of like, I think now I'm going to start, to try and make a few videos and things like that. But I think when you're starting out, you can spread yourself a bit thin if you're trying to do too many things and juggle too many balls.
Even down the track, you can spread yourself too thin.
Yeah. But I think when you're starting out, I think it's good just to focus on eBay.
Yeah, I definitely think that's good advice. Like, it took us sort of 12 to 18 months to even think about it, and it was only because we did a deal that we're like, oh, we want to share this just to share it, that we started it. But it definitely takes a lot of your time and effort, and putting out content all the time that you're trying to be relevant is hard. So it's great for the community. That's definitely one thing that I really love about YouTube, is like you can have meetings like this and you can meet up with people that you would never met up with before. But
YouTube's not making the money.
Yeah,
eBay is.
You have to get your business in a position where you're comfortable before you do it, I think. So
100%.
Yeah. Drew, what's your words of wisdom for the evening?
Words of wisdom, I think basically is to stick with what you know. And then what I used to call is, say I had $200 to spend each week on stock, I'd always have that $10 or $15, what I call risk money. So basically I'd watch your YouTube or someone's YouTube, and they picked up this and they said it was worth this much. And if I ever saw that item, even though I don't deal with it, I would pick it up. Like Ken talked about DVDs, with the handles, the kids ones. I picked them up, they sell. So, and I thought, oh, well, what the hey? So I picked up, half a dozen, I think, for 50 cents each. They weren't great sales. Some I got $14 for, and some I got like $8 for. So, but now I know, it's that experience. And I think after a time, you won't even get out your phone. You just go, through the rack and so on and so forth. And you'll come across oh, that looks nicely made. Or, gee, what brand's this? Bang! Oh my God, that's on the trolley. So yeah, and just take your time. And I think the other thing is, micromanagement will kill you. I think you can get analyst paralysis, where you'll keep worrying about why it hasn't sold when 3 people have sold around you, and don't drop your pants on the price. Don't take a hit, so you can just get it moved. But everyone's situation is totally different. But that'd be my advice anyway.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'll just quickly, Grimes Funds dropped us $4.99 super chat. Love your
Super
channel.
chat.
Thank you for the great info. Be blessed. Thanks very much, Grimes. Appreciate that.
Man.
I think starting with stuff is really awesome, and then you sort of build that knowledge from there. So if you can start a niche that you're comfortable with, and then slowly grow your knowledge, you're going to be better off than just going blasé and not knowing what you're picking up. Because we made mistakes in the start, as everyone else does, and we still make them today.
Yep.
But if you can learn from them and get better every time, then that's the aim of the game, I think. So
I'd add to what Drew was saying. Everyone's situation is different, so don't compare yourself. Just run your own race.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a big believer you watch other people resellers YouTube, and even if you don't like the person or you don't like what they do, but even if you can take 1% of knowledge away,
always,
all of a sudden in the op shop that penny drops, and you think beauty, and you can owe RM Williams, sale to Brad, say, for instance, or a clamshell VHS to Brad or Rob, so, and all these little breadcrumbs that you can pick up, even though the other stuff you might disagree on, or you might think much of it, you know. and that's why you can always gain that knowledge. And if you're sitting there listing and people say, I don't like YouTube because it distracts me, I play music, but I find that constant knowledge, you know, bomb going off all the time is just fantastic.
Yeah. I'd say probably 85% of what I know I've learned from other people. So in terms of reselling, like just taking bits from every person that I watch and combining that into what you learn. And I still only know 1% of the reselling game. You know what I mean? There's so many other categories that you can look at. So
yeah, if you're not learning, you're dead in the water.
So much stuff that I've picked up has been from seeing other people in their Instagram stories sharing what they've picked up, or on YouTube of like things to look out for. Like, so you can definitely learn, you know, like from others. Absolutely, you know, increase your knowledge.
100%.
I did see a question from Frank earlier, but I've missed it. So I do want to ask you guys before you go about this one. He did ask any improvements that you would like to see from the challenge. So obviously it's an evolving beast. And it's always going to be bits and pieces changing, but is there anything in particular that you would like to see from the challenge? Obviously noting that time's an issue, but it's always evolving. So maybe start with Steph. Is there anything that you would like to see from the challenge?
No, I'm pretty happy with how it's laid out and all that from the challenge. It's just I can't wait to see what everyone else gets, really. It's not more my things, it's what everyone else gets. Like, I love learning about all the new stuff that I would never even think of even looking at.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. And I think that's why the hashtag's so cool, because if people are tagging stuff in there, you know, we can all look at it and go, oh, that's a cool item, or that's something else that I can look out for when I'm thrifting. So definitely jump on that, people, for sure. Yeah. What about you, Gary? Is there anything that you would like to see in terms of the challenge?
I mean, as far as improvements go, I mean, I think it's been put together so well. Like, you know, you guys have put in so much hard work to make it happen. So I think it's great. So I guess if, you know, as things evolve and then maybe changes will, you know, that kind of need to be made will be made. But I think it's going really well so far. But I mean, I imagine you guys have a lot of work on the back end, like checking
so much entering.
Yeah, it's definitely taking some time, but it's fun to sort of like be a part of, and the effort that Frank has put into the back end of it is incredible. So
yeah, we've got Thrifty Pixie helping with that.
Yeah, big ups to both them guys for that. Drew, what about yourself?
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't mean to knock it or anything like that. The only improvement I could see is when I buy, say, 5 items on one receipt. I've got to eat. It'd be nice if we could have like the item, the price, the item, the price, the item, the price in one entry opposed to each single entry. Yeah. And then I don't know if that's possible, and I'm not pushing it. I'm just saying because
no, it's a consideration. I think we did chat about it at the start. I'd have to sort of touch base with Frank about the logistics of it, but
if there was like a little spreadsheet or something that we could enter in that you guys,
it would be handy. That would be handy for sure.
Because I'm finding, because I've got to take a photo of the item with the receipt, a photo of the item receipt, a photo where I could take a photo of all the items and then take another photo of the zoom in on the receipt. So you only end up with 2 photos, not 18 photos and 18 entries. You know what I mean? It helps well. The hack I've found too is because I start with D. If I hit D 7 times, I go straight to my name. So if you guys are down the list, just hit the starting letter and you can work out how many times you press it and it takes it straight to your name opposed to scrolling. Yeah, so that's my hack.
That's handy. I didn't know that. So you've found a hack that you guys are
at the top anyway.
So are you logging everything on your desktop, Drew?
Yeah. I don't even use Instagram. That's why I've been there.
No, I mean, like, because I do everything on my phone. I don't.
Yeah, me too.
I do everything. Yeah, I'm a technician, so I always like PCs.
Frank reckons it should be possible.
There you go.
We are sort of already talking about season 2 and what sort of things we can bring next year around. So we're already planning a round 2, but we've still got a long way to go in this one. So we've got another probably 5 months almost to go. So
early days.
make sure everyone keeps cracking at it. We'll try and keep the interest up over on Instagram. Use the hashtag, which is hashtag $5DollarThriftChallenge.
That's it.
And we also have an email address, not a website, that people can send questions, or if you're out filming when you're picking up an item, you can send a little bit of footage through to here. At the end of it, I might get a bit of a compilation video for everyone that's been a part of it. So if you do want to get on that, just when you're filming, do it in landscape mode. Otherwise, it stuffs up my software. So, yeah, if anyone wants to get involved with that, do that. Use the hashtag. And I do want to thank these guys for joining us tonight. Thanks, everyone, for being in the chat. Good luck. Happy thrifting. And let's all chase down Drew, because we can't let Drew win. I mean, come on.
I'm just trying to stay in touch with him before he gets too much of a lead. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
He's doing very well.
The only person I'm here to beat is Ken, and Ken's not even off the market. So I'm sailing. That's all good.
You got a bit of friendly banter going on there. So it's good to have someone to like try and chase. Like obviously we're kind of got Cara close by, so we're like, oh, we've got to beat Cara. But she gets out and does a sneaky lunch break thrift, which goes for 3 hours every day. So it's a bit hard.
I've had a few messages from Cara so far. She's like, just overtook you.
Yeah. She's very competitive, so it's good banter and it's all for fun. That's why we wanted to get started. A bit of fun for everyone, get to know a few more people in the community that usually don't talk to, and learn some stuff, which is already happening. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks everyone in the chat. We had over 70 most of the way through, so that's awesome. We really appreciate everyone coming along. I will end it here tonight. You guys can stick around for a bit if you'd like, and we'll have a quick chat before we head off. But we will see you next time on Aussie Thrifters. We have a video dropping on Friday, and then we'll also have Pure Hustle podcast live with us on Saturday midday. So they're coming over to join us for a chat.
Love those guys.
Yeah, they're good dudes. So
yeah, they're good.
They'll be having a chat with us on Saturday. So go out early in the morning and come back midday to join in that chat. So all right, guys, we will see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all.
Bye.